Next up is Eamonn with his speech entitled, "What's My Age Again?"
Grobitz, noun, a German falafel restaurant chain that can only be reached by train, created by Mr. Kimball and I. Starting things off, I honestly think that having a sense of humor is one of the most important things a person can have. It doesn't mean you have to be extremely funny, but they should at least be able to have a sense of humor and not be so easily offended. This does not equate to not laughing about jokes with a serious world issue as the punchline, but having a general sense of humor is something everybody should have in whatever capacity. As you all may know, or at least some of you do, I have a pretty good sense of humor. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I've made a pretty large amount of people in this room laugh either with me or at me. I think everyone is born with a sense of humor. How that develops, however, is completely under his or her control. My sense of humor took a really long time to develop, but when it did, I began to understand the power of humor, and I realized that it has more to it than simply making someone giggle. Whether your buddy is going through a tough time, or somebody just accidentally stubbed their toe, humor is a fantastic fixer. I've experienced this power of humor on both sides. When I met my stepbrother Marco in 2008, my humor began to take a completely new spin. My brother and I would always make my mom laugh by doing impressions and funny walks, but Marco's bizarre and hilarious sense of humor was extremely appealing to me. Actually, before I go any further, let me say that having a sense of humor is not about telling jokes that you found online. Telling jokes are so far from being important in the grand scheme of things. Really, even Liam Neeson could tell a funny joke, and it would be funny if it had a good punchline. Sorry for getting off track there, just a little touch of ADD. Piggybacking off of my blooming sense of humor from meeting Marco, I began to start doing really funny, out-of-the-box things to entertain and make my family and friends laugh. Sometimes people that don't have a sense of humor just make me cringe. People think they're above having a good laugh sometimes, and to that I simply say, why? Laughter is the best medicine is a generic quote that fits very snugly into this topic. Think about how you feel after laughing your face off. It's almost as if you're in a state of exhaustion, but after laughing as hard as you did, it's an amazing feeling. Just laugh. I couldn't stress it enough. You don't all need to be comedians, but honestly, get your giggles out once in a while. Getting your energy out through humor and just laughing really hard is fantastic and liberating. What makes me sad is that this can be seen as immature sometimes, which brings me to my next topic.
You're so immature. You're so weird.
Hearing people say things like that are like a pencil being stuck in my eardrum. I can't stand it. Keep saying it, man. Or woman, I'm doing what makes me and others happy, and it's not hurting anybody. Yes, doing what you feel and not what you think truly is a very bad idea. Something I learned from my name Mr. Richard last year. However, doing what's funny is different. Try and disprove this. What a broken record I sound like right now. Humor's just awesome. I'm actually grateful to be able to make people laugh to the brink of tears. However, when people try to tranquilize my sense of humor, it's piercing. I'm funny because I am. I joke about a lot of things, and I certainly have a creative sense of humor that can be very, well, let's just say abstract. I don't really set out to make people laugh. Well, sometimes I do. But I don't try unbelievably hard for laughter. I just let it come to me. That's why the best moments are always unscripted. Same goes for writing a speech. It's not always going to be a winner, and the best speeches are almost always light bulbs in your head. Thinking for weeks on end gets you nowhere. You just need to be patient, and it will come to you. I promise. Ooh, I just went off on another tangent there, didn't I? Anyways, on to my story, which hopefully has kept you all awake. Meeting my stepbrother Marco was a catalyst for my humor to develop, but coming to face skyrocketed my superpower of humor. You all know my fellow cowboy Anthony. He was the first kid I saw when I nervously walked into village dorms in September 2012. I saw this little gremlin sitting on the couch. Talking about how great the showers were in village. I thought to myself, hey, he's a character. Maybe this new school won't be so bad after all. He seemed like he could be a friend of mine. But I never would have thought that he would become, well, my partner in crime. I thought the same thing after Toss and I were walking back from our first evening study hall. And for some reason, Toss said, "We gotta catch somebody!" Finally, I couldn't leave out that time that Jonathan gathered quite a few popsicles from the beginning of school picnic in 7th grade, ultimately being sent back by Miss Porter. My pals and I have definitely done some pretty funky things throughout our time at Faye. Some things I do admit were a little, well, naughty. When Anthony quite literally painted himself with the paint we were using to create our wonderful dorm banners. Or the time that I did a little dance with my towel on in front of Andrew after a shower, oblivious to the fact that Mr. Pearson was right behind me. Or that wonderful time on a New York trip in 8th grade when a pal of mine loaded up on M&M's in the M&M store, only to realize, wait, I don't even like M&M's. I could go on and on with these stories. I really could. I've had countless humorous adventures at Faye, but beneath the hysterical cackling and 3 a.m. showers to wash off marinara sauce, there is something that is very important to me on a deeper level. Somebody could easily say, hey, you're so dumb and immature with this stuff that you do. It's a convenient and general statement. Maybe that person wants to laugh as hard as we all do, or maybe they just don't get it. Or maybe I am a little immature sometimes. But we all grow up fast, and I genuinely want to savor every moment. As Miss Ashley always says in the evening study hall, when Eamonn's done, everybody's done. What I didn't mention before is the memories that humor can create. These are memories that you will absolutely remember for the rest of your life. Maybe humans naturally remember negative memories more often, but funny stories that you hear from your parents and remember have to originate from somewhere, don't they? Do we learn lessons from these negative memories? Yes, of course we do. But that time that your buddy stuck bread in your ear or collided with Mr. Taggart in the hallway is something that will always be hilarious. And it'll wipe that bad quiz grade you just got out of your mind for as long as you needed to. That was one of the main reasons that I'm so happy to be able to be at a place like Faye. I never would have been able to create the amazing memories that I now have and will remember for the rest of my life. Winding my speech down, I should probably explain to you all the title that I chose. It's a song called What's My Age Again by a little band named Blink-182. It's not directly comparable, but when you listen to it, it evokes a little bit of Peter Pan syndrome, which is when an adult acts like a child and questions his or her maturity. Yes, it's a little exaggerated, but ultimately, out of all the points I've attempted to make, relishing in humor and not losing your sense of it is what I'm trying to tell you all is so important. No matter how old you are, don't lose it. Keep doing that walk or that Barack Obama impression, and keep singing those Creed songs. Little funny things like this will quite literally get you through hard times and form wonderfully infamous memories. Now let's try to slap together some funny stories to tell of our last couple months here. And if we go to Grobitz, the falafels are on me.